What's one thing people do that absolutely disgusts you? I watched a guy at a game 2 seats away literally lian over his torso, then uses his hands and arms, it lift himself off the chair and farted so loud it sounded wet. I had Pepsi in my mouth watching that I couldn't look away. I literally choke and spewed Pepsi out my mouth and nose. People in front of us gave the look of kill kill kill, which made me choke laughing and spewing soda. Again. I had to excuse myself. This so stupid, but for some reason Reddit keeps showing me posts of people sharing photos of their inside of their refrigerators, and you're supposed to like guess what kind of person they are based on this photograph. I don't know why, but I am so icked by seeing people's like half-used condiments or even worse, tin foil in the refrigerator. I hate tin foil in the refrigerator. Clear glass storage only. I am not sure why I am like this. That really nasty sounding growling gag throat clearing noise people do when hawking a loogie, regardless of whether they spit it or swallow. Especially when they do it while I'm attempting to enjoy a meal. It's fucking gross, and hearing my friend with untreated allergies and postnasal drip do that repeatedly while we were taking our lunch breaks during work has made me lose my appetite a few times now. I've literally stopped eating lunch with him on account of it, since he won't stop doing it despite me asking him, but also won't treat his allergies because he doesn't like taking pills. Put their vanity over the health of others. I worked with an RN from the South. She had a God-given right to helmet head. She would let loose an entire can of hairspray in an enclosed space. I begged her to stop. It was a migraine trigger. I went to our supervisor. Nope. It was unreasonable for me to expect her to go through her day messed up. Despite other places to do her hair, she had to do it there. I can't get over that. Bigots, racists, genocide, hold an opinion on something, but refuse to learn about it, especially when someone corrects them, and they just keep fighting, rather than throwing it into the web to see if they're wrong, etc. You don't have to take people on their word, but if you have an opinion on something, you better educate yourself on it. Bare minimum, take 5 minutes. Coughing, sneezing without covering. So many times I've been walking around a store and someone lets out a nasty cough while walking by me without covering, or they'll be standing behind me in a line and do it. I hoped people would learn a little bit about very basic health and safety during 2020, but apparently not. Even preschoolers can understand covering their mouth when coughing, sneezing, but it's too complicated for adults apparently. People who clear their nose and use their mouths to spit the mucus out. They make that loud throat noise that is just so fucking gross. People who sneeze put their hands in front of their faces, and then they wipe it on themselves, or whatever surface is nearest. Being a bigot in any form. Like seriously, what made you wake up one day, look at a group of people with unharmful surface-level differences, usually things they can't change, nor should they have to, and decide, I'm going to hate them with everything in me, and I want everyone else to hate them too? Do people like this not realize how absolutely nutty as squirrel shit that sounds? In a moral sense, child-infant circumcision. Unless it's advised by a licensed medical professional, it's such a weird practice to still be so commonplace. In a knee-jerk, icky feeling sense, not washing your hands after using a urinal. I don't care if you didn't touch it, soap up Mike. Not thinking for themselves and just following the crowd, whether it's religion, politics, or deciding what to do with your life. Grow a spine and stand up for yourself. I'm so tired of people who whine but never actually take a stand or make a decision. Eat with their mouth open. Wide fucking open. Closing it in between chewing to get that gross fucking sound. There is no way the people who do this don't know exactly what they're fucking doing. You are a human, not a fucking animal. We chew with our mouth closed. Leaving messes in public places for other people to clean up. It's so rude and entitled. If you drop trash, pick it up and put it in a trash can. If you knock something off a shelf, at least tell someone, if knock clothing off of a hanger, pick it up and put it back on the fucking hanger. Who raised you? And clean your own shit off the public toilet, you fkin nasty. Sit on their asses refusing to work and living off welfare paid by my taxes, then complain that they aren't getting enough or that foreigners are taking over, when most people who don't qualify for welfare are left with even less money than them every month after forking out for rent or mortgages. Abusing the minimum wage workers that are service providers. Watching people screaming and threatening 16-year-old Todd to refund your used underwear, he can't, should not be a thing that happens on a regular basis. Entitled people. Some people are used to behave in a position of power at work, and it does not translate well outside to the public. I have watched countless times people thinking we have to move, concede to make way for their busy, important lives. No, wait your turn. The road is dangerous as it is. If we are all stuck on a traffic jam, stop honking, you animal. We can't fly off into the distance, and that does not help. I have many more. This was just this morning before arriving work. Breeding at rates that outpace others. Not raising them while having other people unwillingly pay for the expense to keep them fed and housed, and making sure your progeny follow in your footsteps. I met my new neighbor a few days ago. She's 42 with 5 biological kids by 3 guys. Her oldest is 29 and in prison. Youngest is 18 and currently facing violent felonies. All 5 of her kids have kids. She has 2 of them, and foster care pays her for them. I met them. One is 5 and 130 pounds from nonstop ice cream, and the other is 2 and appears to suffer from severe fetal alcohol poisoning. Every other word out of her mouth in front of the kids was fuck. She bragged about her income from child support, foster care, spousal maintenance, and food stamps. She has never worked her words. This woman has done more damage to society than your average rapist or murderer, and we subsidize her behavior. There are many like her. Breeding at rates that outpace others, not raising them while having other people unwillingly pay for the expense to keep them fed and housed, and making sure your progeny follow in your footsteps. I met my new neighbor a few days ago. She's 42 with 5 biological kids by 3 guys. Her oldest is 29 and in prison. Youngest is 18 and currently facing violent felonies. All 5 of her kids have kids. She has 2 of them, and foster care pays her for them. I met them. One is 5 and 130 pounds from nonstop ice cream, and the other is 2 and appears to suffer from severe fetal alcohol poisoning. Every other word out of her mouth in front of the kids was fuck. She bragged about her income from child support, foster care, spousal maintenance, and food stamps. She has never worked her words. This woman has done more damage to society than your average rapist or murderer, and we subsidize her behavior. There are many like her. People who are just mean and intolerant to other people, especially to anyone who might be struggling, and it's not obvious. I've met so many people who don't have any visible signs of struggle, disabilities, and the way people are impatient or mean towards them or about them for being slow or not grasping something quickly is just heartbreaking, especially towards adults. There are so many adults who struggle with undiagnosed learning disabilities, undiagnosed autism, undiagnosed dyslexia, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. A little patience and kindness never hurt anyone. One of my budgies was someone's abandoned pet in a park. I know that whoever abandoned her did so deliberately because she could barely fly across my tiny kitchen when I got her, and it was a massive park, so there was no chance she just escaped from her previous owner and flew there. And because she had an injury and scarring on one leg, suggestive of someone haphazardly removing an identifying leg ring. I posted her online and looked for her original owner, but couldn't find a trace of anyone looking for a budgie of her description, so I took her to a vet, registered her as my own, and got her back to good health. She was found on a cold morning by someone else, and the vet said that if she hadn't been found that morning, then she would have probably died that day, possibly within hours, as she was stone cold to the touch when found. Budgies are tropical birds. She's such a little sweetheart. She had an intense fear of hands, but I've been gradually undoing her trauma and winning her trust with patience and food reward training. She can also fly well now. Her leg injury has healed and her limp has gone. I named her Biscuit, and she gets on very well with my other budgies. She's smaller than a budgie should be, so I suspect that she didn't get all the nutrition she needed as a chick, but she's got tons of personality, and she appears to be very intelligent for a budgie, being emotionally intuitive and quick to learn. It breaks my heart to think that once upon a time, someone just ditched this tiny, sweet, vulnerable little pet in a big cold park full of dogs and foxes, etc. But thankfully, she was found just in time, and now has a loving forever home with me, plus lots of budgie friends and treats to boot. Abandoning their pets? I simply can't get it. Just give it away to someone if you don't have the conditions or a shelter at the very least. Making a living off of posting their children online. I've gotten death threats from clients simply from working in the mental health field. Mentally ill individuals develop parasocial relationships so easily, and people are extremely unhealthy. I can't imagine consistently posting my child online as I'm picking them up from school where their school is visible, filming their doctor's appointments, filming them in their room to the point where a stranger could find their address and figure out which room they are in within our home, posting hauls of all the outfits that they could be wearing, making them identifiable at a distance, posting their birth for strangers to watch, posting their full names so a stranger could randomly call out to them on the playground.